Presenting to you
the interactive space for critical and objective open thinking.
Floating in Space with MartianUFO. Produced by MartianUFO Media. The best podcast on air with your hearty host. Catch episodes weekly on Apple and Spotify podcasts.
Man, hello guys. It's MartianUFO. Welcome to Floating in Space and all that. Oh my goodness, I got a big topic today. Not a huge topic. I don't know how long this is gonna run, but I was thinking about something. One of my buddies has been talking to me about cancel culture recently, and especially since I started this podcast. We've been speaking about it, and I've been thinking about it more, and I guess just observing and watching. He tells me, because I didn't even understand what cancel culture was. I asked him. I said, "Yo, bro, what's cancel culture?" And he says, "Look around, man. Look around with the videos. You got to be careful what you say, when you say it, how you say it, certain kinds of things. Because especially now, I think I said that before in the beginning. With one of my last videos and things like this, understanding that when I look at myself, no matter where I'm at, if I'm in a city like Medicine Hat, or if I'm in a big city, if I'm home in Winnipeg and things like this, bro, I gotta look at myself, and I'm a young black male, and sometimes you say something, and the way that you say it rubs people a certain way, or even the fact of just like the fact that you scare people with your appearance. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got to be careful. So he's telling me basically the whole idea of cancel culture. Be careful with the topics you pick. Be careful with how you speak about them and things like this. And I just wanted to bring to the fact that, like, man, in 2020, and then moving forward and all this kind of stuff, and then with the theme of change and things like this, man, you can't be scared about saying something. I mean, you got to be respectful always, right? Don't be going out here and bashing people for no reason, and putting people's laundry out on, how do they say, like, putting people's dirty laundry out on Front Street, I guess, for everybody to hear and things like that. If you got private business, keep it private. But at the same time, man, like, you feel a certain way about something, especially with all the social issues we're dealing with and the political things, protests, Black Lives Matter, defund the police, cancel culture, the fucking Karens. And see, here's the thing. I was going to break into it because I'm not even going to speak, like, when you hear me talk right now, I'm not speaking about anybody. I'm speaking about people as a generality, the people themselves. And I had to learn this for myself too, because, growing up and stuff like that, it's not something that a lot of us even like to think about or that we understand and things like this. But I look at myself, and sometimes, I get angry, and, I have a short temper and things like this. But, my sense of self, who I perceive myself as a person to be. So I'm gonna look at, the people who do say, watch what you say, keep your head down. You come into a city like Calgary, and you're walking down on the streets and stuff, it's don't look people, in the eye and too much and all that kind of stuff. Like, don't be asking silly questions, whatever. But these people that tell you to be quiet, to just obey the rules, abide by the following, do whatever, you'll see that when someone comes and attacks their sense of self, or attacks like who they perceive that they are, or says something about them, or they're spreading rumors or something, suddenly this person who was quiet before, who didn't want to be a loud talker, didn't want people to think about them a certain way, suddenly they're the loudest talker in the room, and their haste to come and defend themselves, to do whatever they need to do, suddenly, they're one of the loudest people. And so how can you tell people, don't say how you feel, be careful of cancel culture, watch what you say? And I understand that there are certain things that you don't want to talk about, can't talk about. Look at our conservative city that we live in. Like, there's a whole bunch of stuff that's going on. You can't really talk about it. People don't want to. You kind of just gotta do what you do because you're not trying to hurt people's feelings, and I understand that. And even for myself, again, like I'm saying, young black man, certain topics and certainly people talk to me like about the idea of, bringing guests on too. And I'm cool with that. Cause if it's not just me, if it's somebody in here, I have like multiple people, guests, and we're talking about stuff, the ideas can kind of bounce off each other. And I don't sound like somebody who believes a certain thing or believes a certain notion or an idea about something. But yeah, I don't know, man. Just, it's interesting. So again, when it comes to people like the Karens, I guess we made this name for them or whatever. People like the Karens, they I mean, what kind of stuff is it that they're really doing? They feel threatened. Like I saw a video yesterday, some person on my Snap who lives way out east or whatever. I was surprised to see this because I'm like, you usually go and you see it on WorldStar, you see it on some app, but they were being videotaped by some older white woman looking Karen. She was videotaping them. Couldn't hear what the video was saying. It wasn't audible, but she was like screaming all kinds of shit and trying to call the cops and stuff. And I mean, wow, these are black people sitting down having dinner. It looks like they got, it's a pretty nice place. They got a bunch of candles and stuff around there, having drinks and whatever. I'm like, yo, what's going on? This happening in Canada, not anywhere local, certainly. But why? And so again, to talk about the Karens, as a Karen, you look at a person when their sense of self is attacked or suddenly they're in a space and they don't feel safe in their space, something like that. I mean, what is it about, a person just being around, just living, just doing something that attacks a Karen or makes them feel unsafe? And that's what I'm talking about. Like, being a certain kind of color or looking a certain kind of way, like that's just how it is sometimes. I mean, you threaten people, you rub people a certain way, and that's why we got the Karens. That's why we got, the Karens that are drawing all this attention to themselves, that even have given us, the label Karen to themselves. Again, I guess comes down to the fact that, there are differences between people, and people really don't want to talk about these differences. It comes down again to like keep your head down, be quiet, hush, hush, all this kind of stuff. Cancel fucking culture. And I don't understand that. When he first said it to me, I'm like, yo, they're trying to cancel everything. Why would you cancel culture? What are we going to have left? Suddenly you're getting mad at people for doing this and doing that. And, people going out to eat, or you see the videos on Twitter, like, they got the guy who was out walking his dog. And then, I mean, all these women, suddenly they're pulling out their phones to call the cops. And, oh, like this guy, he's threatening me. He's, I feel unsafe. And, oh my goodness, are you serious? 1 second. Like, you watch it like this, and then you start thinking, man, I got to be careful because I'm darker skinned. I'm a little bit bigger. I'm taller, things like this. I got to be careful when, I go for a fucking walk in my own neighborhood and I'm going for a run or I'm doing something like that. And I know, and I'm going to be real honest about it. I don't give a fuck. Like, when certain people with their kids or their families, am I a bad person? They don't know anything about me. They see me, and then as if they're moving to the other side of the sidewalk or the other side of the street to be as far away as possible. I must have a weapon on me or something. I must be out here trying to hurt people. But that's the thing about it, man. People that will never, I don't think the whole issue, the whole root problem of why we have Karens or why we have all this cancel everything, basically cancel culture. People are never really going to sit down to have this conversation, to have this talk. I'm thinking about when people ask me to bring on guests and stuff like that. I'm really thinking about objectively, about people that I can bring on here, who I'm going to bring on here, because I don't want to bring on nobody that's going to come and feel a certain way or feel. This is an objective podcast. This is to talk about these issues, to get people to think like, yo, why is it that we aren't having this conversation? Why is it that you might not like a certain kind of people, or you think, these people are racist? Apparently, if you study this shit, every ethnicity is supposed to be racist. There's something that we all don't like about each other, with the whites and the blacks and Indians and Asians and everybody, right? But then here I am. We find a certain way to coexist with each other in school. You know what I'm saying? We find a way to like each other when you guys are out at the bar with each other and y'all drinking and doing this kind of stuff, partying with each other. But nobody wants to sit down and have the conversation about why we're trying to cancel culture and why we're trying to take out so many things, and why, and I'm gonna give another example. And when I give this example, I'm not, again, generalities, because I'm older. I've seen a lot of things in life. Even people that are older than me can probably test to the fact that they've seen these things in certain situations, certain landscapes, locations, certainly, being in any school type of, even in the workplace or college, right? You'll see and you'll watch. And this is because I'm the kind of person, I kind of I stand back. I'm not really too worried. I'm not going to say like lone wolf and things like this. You got to have people around you and whatnot to support you and things like this. But when I see that certain people, everybody's going to be, they're trying to learn about people and their friends and friend groups and things like this in the beginning, in the first coming weeks of whatever you're coming into, the start of something, right? The start of something new. And then in the next 2 months, 1 month, 2 months, weeks, whatever, the same people that were friends with this friend group, suddenly they're not friends with these people anymore. And it's fuck these people. We're not doing it with these people no more. And I mean, you understand, right? We all got to come to the same building, every day or whatever, see the same people in the same small ass fucking town and try and coexist. Like, what are you talking about? What problems happen that now, like, in a day or 2 days, now you're not fucking with these people? You're not. And that's why I'm real objective about everything, man. Real objective about life. I'm cool with everybody as far as I can say. I don't really have problems with anyone. But I study and I see these things, and I just think it's interesting. It makes me curious about life and where we're going to be, like, because now that I've said that, certain people are going to be thinking like, they've written people off and they got people that they don't talk to anymore and whatever. That's just life, man. I guess going into the future, what it's going to be like, I guess we got to think about the way that we interact with people, how we think about certain people, because it can't go like this forever. People think that there's such a difference between Canada and the States, and it's not that bad up here. What the fuck are y'all being mad about and all this kind of stuff? But tell me in another 2 or 3 decades, we pass this time, that it's still going to look like the same country statistically, in North America or whatever. In the next 30 years, it's supposed to look more like a multicultural country than anything. The immigrants are supposed to overtake, I don't want to say white society, but there's going to be more. You're going to see more immigrant families everywhere. You're going to see, somebody said that, somewhere in the future, whatever, there will be more mixed kids. There'll be, like, in the next generation of people and things like this, there'll be the majority mixed kids, right? Because that's, once you start cohabitating and people getting with each other and people are starting to figure out their differences in our generation, now, not the generations from old who didn't even want to fuck with each other. It might change and things like this. Like, this is how they see it. This is how people, historians who were studying where us as a people are going into civilization and stuff. I guess that's what it's supposed to be about. So I just wonder, I'm curious, man, about life. Like, are people still going to be acting this way? Are we going to step back and think about, I guess, culture itself, or the things that we're doing and why we're doing them, the cancellation of certain things? If you think that, there's something going on, something happening, some petty little shit, and right now you feel a certain way about somebody, but the next 6 to 12 months, it could be fucking water under the bridge. Think about it, man. Sit and take the time and just be objective. That's what we're trying to do here while we're floating in space. And I'm gonna leave you with that. Let's try and not cancel culture. Let's give the fucking Karens their space. Let's all just try and fucking coexist with each other, man. The world is as small or as big as it is, and there's not enough room for fucking hate and all this shit. You know what I mean?